Hey guys, welcome. Christina here, and today we're here with Steven to talk about the new Amazon and Printify connection. It's the next big thing we're hoping in print on demand. Steven himself is a print on demand seller, the creator of HelloCustom, and he's got some experience with Amazon. So welcome, Steven.
Yes, thank you for having me. I'm super excited for our interview, our discussion today. I couldn't be more excited for Printify's integration with Amazon. It's something I've been waiting for multiple years. So for them to finally have this integration, I couldn't be more than excited.
Yeah, yeah, I'm super excited to hear what you have to say. First, for a lot of people who maybe don't know you, if you could give us some background on print on demand and what your journey has been so far.
Yeah, I'll kind of give you the origin story of what I'm doing right now. So essentially, I started selling on Etsy back in 2020. Started with the face masks. That's how I made my first $1 million online selling face masks during a pandemic. We essentially took that and just converted that into a print shop. So we took all of our equipment, our employees, our warehouse, our learnings, our new love for Etsy, selling print products on Etsy, grew that business to the same levels we were doing with the face masks. We did that for the next 3 years. We averaged about $1 million per year, so $3 million revenue total. 220,000 products sold over the lifetime of the business. In building that business, 100% of the products that we sold were personalized. We just saw a lot of demand for personalized products on Etsy, not a lot of competition to people doing print products on Etsy, leveraging personalization. So therefore we kind of raised the barrier of entry for the products that we sold. But it was a huge pain point in our business that every single time an order came in, we had to manually personalize it. That when a Christmas rush comes, like we are going into Q4 at the time of record this, you would sell 1,000 things per day. We have a stack of orders this big on my desk when I came into the office, and it was just like this love-hate relationship. So we decided to, from that business, build HelloCustom, which is what I'm doing currently. So essentially, HelloCustom is the first and only tool that automates the personalization for print-on-demand products sold on third-party marketplaces like Etsy, and then we are also launching our Amazon integration. So that's why I'm super excited to talk about the Amazon integration, as I do think personalization is like the missing domino for it to be effective.
Yeah, and you already helped me so much with Etsy itself. Like I had started, I did not start with personalization. I almost started on Etsy with my print on demand store like against personalization because my first store was doing like hand-drawn pet portraits, which was like super customized that I like went into Etsy against having to do any work once I got an order. And then after a few years, like learning about your store is like, I should start introducing that again. So it's definitely helped my store. So yeah, going into this whole new thing with Amazon, like super awesome to kind of know that and have that upper hand against people. Where do you see this new Amazon integration kind of going? Is it going to match Etsy? Is it something that supplements Etsy, or where do you see it going?
Yeah, that's actually a great question. So my prediction is Amazon right now is like Etsy was in 2020. So print on demand isn't anything new. It's just I think the opportunity of where print on demand is successful kind of changes different marketplaces over time. Back in 2013, it was like Teesprings. Back in 2020, we saw the big boom on Etsy. Everyone who launched a print on demand store or just an Etsy shop back in 2020, there was a lot of success. That's when I launched my Etsy shop. And again, we grew that to multi seven figures. And I personally believe that Amazon is going to be the next market shift because it will shift eventually. Typically, when the marketplace gets a little bit crowded, top practices become common practice. It's about time for a market shift. And I do feel like that Printify now integrating into Amazon kind of opens up the door for a lot more opportunity on a marketplace that is well vetted, hundreds of times bigger than Etsy, and kind of is going to create that next big boom for people doing print on demand for a couple different reasons. I think there's like 3 different opportunities of people wanting to jump in on this opportunity. There's people who are currently selling on Amazon. Whenever there's a new way to make money on Amazon, everyone I think latches onto that new opportunity. I personally have done every single one from like retail arbitrage, wholesale, FBA to trying to do like Kittle, KDP. So whenever there's a new way to make money on Amazon, Amazon sellers tend to try it out. So I think there's gonna be a big demand there. People who are trying to do Amazon merch, merch by Amazon, it's print on demand is an amazing business. The fact that you can sell physical products on a third-party marketplace, don't have to hold inventory, don't have to talk to manufacturers. Therefore, merch by Amazon is a very sought-after opportunity because you can do that business model on Amazon, but it's really hard to get accepted. And once you are accepted, they have tiers. Like you are launched on tier 10, where you can only launch 10 products. And then if those products do well, then you can move up the tier. So it's really hard, if at all, to even get started with Amazon merch. So now that Printify kind of just opens up that door to, again, do print on demand on Amazon, all of those people are going to latch onto the opportunity. And then also people who are currently doing print on demand on Etsy. Etsy in the last couple of years, millions and millions and millions of people have launched an Etsy print on demand business, all selling on the same marketplace to the same customers buying the same products from the same print providers. Top practices are becoming a little bit more common. So again, I think there's gonna be time for a market shift, even for Etsy sellers to probably move over to Amazon. Nothing against Etsy. I still strongly believe that Etsy is the most viable way to make money online. That if you were a first-time entrepreneur just getting started into print on demand, like Etsy is the marketplace to go.
Mhm.
I love Etsy, but I also think that Amazon is gonna be the perfect complementary marketplace for Etsy sellers as well. So there's three different opportunities, all diving into this opportunity. I think it's going to create the boom because there's so much demand. Amazon is the marketplace. You're able to leverage their brand, their customers, again with the opportunity of print on demand.
Yeah, that's exactly where I'm kind of at because like the fees that I've learned at Amazon are much higher. So like my kind of viewpoint on this still is like start with Etsy for a lot of the testing. Like Etsy has helped me find my products that sell for Shopify and what to run ads to on like other platforms. So I only ever moved like my best sellers over to places. And that's exactly what I'm doing with Amazon right now. I'm just moving over what's selling for me on Etsy to Amazon because the pricing structures are so different for people. And I think that's going to be a big shock for some people. A lot of people complained about like the Etsy fees, but going into Amazon, people are going to notice there's quite high fees on there plus a monthly payment. But do you still think with that type of like payment and higher fee structure, people should still be looking on Amazon or should they maybe start on Etsy first? What's
Yeah,
your
I'll
view?
switch. I have two answers for that. One for like starting on Etsy first, moving over to Amazon, the benefits of that, but also like the comparison and the fees if someone isn't familiar with the two different fees. So
Hmm.
on Etsy, you have like a one-time fee to open up a store. I believe it's $15 one time. And then every single time that you sell something, there is like a transaction fee, which is 6.5%. And the reason why they charge you the transaction fee is we are leveraging their marketplace, we are leveraging their brand, and we are leveraging their audience. So essentially, like we are leveraging their brand. When someone buys your product on Etsy and they say, "Hey, that's a really cute shirt. Where'd you get that?" They say Etsy, right? Like the conversion rate, the trust of the marketplace, we kind of are able to kind of tap into that for only 6.5%, and that's post purchase. So I think that's a win-win opportunity there. Amazon, in my opinion, is a bigger marketplace, maybe more trusted to a lot of people. There's, pay with Amazon. So as a result, you're able to access I feel like, again, a hugely trusted marketplace, leverage their brand and their audience. They are hundreds of times bigger than Etsy. So as a result, you have to pay a little bit more, but you are getting what you are paying for. So on Amazon, they have two different plans. They have an individual plan and a professional plan. The individual plan it's free plus 99 cents per product sold. But we're unable to use that plan if you are trying to do print on demand through Printify, because that plan, you're unable to connect third-party apps. So you cannot connect Printify, you cannot connect HelloCustom or any other third-party app to your Amazon account. So therefore, we are unable to use that plan. You're also unable to create shipping rates and also leverage Amazon Custom, which we can talk about that next. So as a result, we have to use the professional plan, which the professional plan is $39.99 per month. So that is a monthly subscription plus a transaction fee. So that they have different transaction fees for different categories, but I think the blended transaction fee for anyone doing print on demand will be about 15%. So 15% compared to 6.5%, but the marketplace is a lot bigger, as well as, again, that is 15% post purchase. So again, running like Facebook ads to a Shopify store, if I could only have to pay 15% to acquire that customer, like I would do that all day long. So I have no problem paying 15% to Amazon to leverage Amazon for Amazon's sake.
Yeah, I'm definitely paying a whole lot more on Shopify. When people are like, drive your own website. I'm like, do you guys know the cost of driving a sale? A lot of the time is a lot. Like it eats up a lot of profit. That's why I have to charge so much higher on Shopify. But a big thing kind of since we're on pricing that I've noticed a lot of people comment on when it comes to this like new Printify integration is people on Amazon a lot of times are buying like everything's so cheap on there, including people who are on Prime. They're selling for so cheap, and we have higher costs because of using Printify and just using print on demand in general and not being on merch. We also don't have access to Prime. How are we still able to stick out and actually make sales competing against all these people on there?
Yeah, that's a great question. So essentially, again, comparing Etsy to Amazon specifically, on Etsy, you're kind of one of two people, and the competition is pretty level-headed or level in terms of the competition, where you're either doing your own production or you're using print on demand. But because print on demand has good pricing, good production times, whether you are using like Printify or you're doing it yourself, it's still pretty much like a level playing field in terms of the competition. That's on Etsy. On Amazon, it's a little bit different. You're going to be one of three people on Amazon. You're either going to be FBA, you're going to be merch, or you're going to be FBM. So FBA means fulfilled by Amazon. That product is in an Amazon warehouse somewhere where Amazon is able to get that product to you delivered within 2 days prime. So that is FBA. There's also merch. So again, Amazon has their own print on demand company where you can leverage print on demand on Amazon where it says sold by Amazon Prime delivered in 2 days. So this guy will get to you delivered in 2 days. This guy will get to you delivered in 2 days. And we, with our integration with Printify, we are technically FBM, fulfilled by merchant. We are the ones shipping the product through Printify to our customers, where we do not have 2 days delivery. We might have 2 days production plus standard shipping gets to you next week. So how does our product, when someone is on Amazon expecting Prime, expecting 2 days delivery, wants to buy your product compared to the competition side by side with you, even if you guys have the same product, the same quality design, the same SEO, the same pricing, the fact that these will get to you in 2 days, this gets to you next week, it's almost an uphill battle, which is why I'm super excited for our integration with Amazon, where essentially I truly believe that the number one thing that you can leverage on Amazon through print on demand, through Printify to compete with FBA and merch is to offer personalized, customized products. That is one thing. Amazon Custom, it's a program through Amazon that FBA cannot do Amazon Custom, Amazon Merch cannot do Amazon Custom, that only FBM products can, where essentially you can sell personalized products on Amazon. And if your product is next to those guys and yours is custom and they want a custom product, they understand that it's not going to be in an Amazon warehouse getting to them in 2 days, that you are making that product custom for them. And if that's what they want, that is what they're going to pay for and what they are going to expect. So essentially offering personalized products on Amazon, I feel like is almost, in my opinion, required to be successful on Amazon print on demand, but it's highly recommended on Etsy to be successful. So that's a little bit of the difference between Etsy versus Amazon and how you can compete with the different kinds of competition.
That's a really good point. And like, especially like I'm always doing like the print on demand, like year over year growth terms. And it's always like the number one thing that people are expecting more and more is customization. And like, that's a huge point on Amazon. I don't think I've actually, probably because I always have that Prime thing ticked off. I don't think I've ever ordered anything customized on Amazon. And I actually, before this integration, didn't even know that that was possible. So yeah, I think this is like a huge, like, I guess, benefit over that, because for me, I was tried to get on Amazon Prime forever. Like you mentioned before, I was always rejected. So yeah, this is a huge opportunity, and I've been like implementing more customized products in my store, especially with Q4 coming up. I know people love extra customization when it comes to Q4. We kind of skipped over it earlier, but I did have a question about ads when it comes back to strategy as well. Have you, or do you find the Etsy platform and the Amazon platform similar in the way that through SEO and getting your keywords and your titles like optimized, that you can make money through just their platform with the incoming searches? Or on Amazon, are you kind of more required to run ads to actually be successful? Because for me on Etsy, I don't run any ads. So I'm curious about the Amazon side.
Yeah, that's actually a great question. And it also kind of piggybacks off of something I forgot to mention off the previous question and kind of comparing the competition in regards to like, again, like right now, like this is a brand new opportunity. Like Printify just launched their integration last week. Amazon or HelloCustom, we are launching our integration next week. So this is like ground zero, day one of this brand new opportunity to where there are, I think I personally have seen there's like gaps in the market for product opportunities where if you sell those products on Amazon, there might be less competition than if you sell those products on Etsy, maybe not needing as much of a heavy on the ads on the Amazon side. To give you a quick example, like again, there's FBA competition, there's merch competition, and then we're going to be FBM, Amazon POD. Amazon merch, there's only 13 products that they can sell. So they only have a catalog of 13 products. Printify has a catalog of over 900 products. Granted, not all are going to be profitable on Amazon, not all are going to sell well on Amazon, but there are products that Printify has that Amazon merch does not have, that if you sell those products, that takes one of the competitions off the playing field. Now it's just you versus FBA, and that's that much less of a competition. To give you a quick example, Christmas ornaments is an amazing product that we know does amazing during Q4, which we are going into on Etsy. If you search Christmas ornaments on Etsy and you search Christmas ornaments on Amazon, Etsy actually has better products, better listings, better designs, and better, I think, just built. It's more mature of a marketplace for that product category because there has been a viable fulfillment opportunity for that product on Etsy. You go over to Amazon, it's mostly just like the 12 packs of the little like plastic round bulbs, and there's not a lot of like, what you would expect to see when you see on Etsy, to where it's just because Amazon merch does not have that product, and there hasn't been a viable, I think, fulfillment partner for that product on Amazon. So if you launch that product on Amazon, there's virtually very little competition going into a season like Q4 where the demand is just through the roof, to where maybe you don't have to turn on ads to get sales. But if you do turn on ads, then it's that much more fuel to the fire. Other products that do well during this time of the year are like mugs. So mugs do well. You can't do mugs with FBA with merch. Candles do well. You cannot do candles with merch. So I think there's gaps in the market for some product types on Amazon where ads may not be required. But I would 100% recommend ads for one specific reason. On Amazon is you get complete control. So on Etsy, ads are amazing. I think it's the number one lever that you can pull to drive rank and get success on the platform, but you have no control over essentially what budget goes to what product and what you're paying per click for what search terms, and then what search terms you want to rank for, if they're relevant or irrelevant. You essentially just say ads, yes, these products, this daily ad spend, and Etsy does everything, which is, it's nice and it's convenient, but the lack of control means you could have gotten better results or been more profitable if you had that control and had a strategy to leverage. On Amazon, there's complete control. You can say, I want these products that rank for these search terms. I'm willing to pay this cost per click for those search terms. I'm willing to pay for exact match, broad match, phrase match for those search terms. This product is doing amazing, so it's eating up all of my ad budget, so I can break this off into its own campaign and have this be its own daily ad spend, have these ones in its own other campaign. It's super more granular, and you have full control over the Amazon advertising. Again, one more thing to learn, but once you have that strategy and that control, you have way more potential for success on the Amazon leveraging advertising, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually launched my Amazon campaign this morning. I was like, I'll throw a few bucks a day to see what happens. I only have like 10 listings up, but I'm playing around with it. But like going through and like just like I can run Shopify, so I have the full Facebook ads, but then I also have the other side. I've seen Etsy ads, and there's like a lot of information and no information. And the Amazon ads so far was like easy to set up, pretty straightforward, but definitely a step up. And the big thing, was being able to control your targeting and control like how much you want to pay. Because that was a big thing I hated about running Etsy ads, was just the lack of control that we had over everything.
Yeah, one thing too with Amazon too is it does put the work back on the seller. You have to monitor the ads and things like that.
Yeah.
But there are tools that you can essentially apply to your Amazon account and say, on these campaigns for these search terms, it's a lot of if and then. So like if the cost per click goes above, then do this, or if the conversion rate is below this, then do this. If the ad spend goes above this, then break out into its own campaign. So you'd almost build out an automation, almost like a mini chat, campaign for your Amazon ads. So that way it's like you just set it up, almost forget about it, and it's like self-optimizing, self-breaking things off to its own campaign, self-raising budget, raising ad spends, and it's just kind of self-evolving through some automation. So there's a lot you can do there, which I feel like those trainings like that for just Amazon FBA products are already out there. So you can watch those and apply them to your print-on-demand products. But a lot of those things I do plan on teaching on our YouTube channel here coming pretty soon.
Amazing. I was actually going to ask, that I was going to lead into tools 100%. If any that you're comfortable with sharing, are there any tools that you use for your Amazon store that are like key, like either the research tools or even just like I was having an issue finding like detailed analytics, or are there any that you're like, if you're on Amazon, you need this tool?
Yeah, so essentially the cool thing between Amazon and Etsy is they're both third-party marketplaces, and they both rank products very similar, and the strategies you use on Etsy are going to be very parallel to the strategies you need to do on Amazon. Everything that I teach on my YouTube channel for how to sell on Etsy, like how I do my market research, my product research, my SEO, my listing images, all of those videos and those strategies, they were actually Amazon strategies first that I brought over to Etsy when I launched on Etsy back in 2020. They're now my Etsy strategies. So I'm going to now bring those back over to Amazon, and they're going to work on Amazon as well. So it parallels very well. So the tools that you use and the tools that you need for Etsy, like a product analytics tool, you're going to need one of those for Amazon as well. If you want like a tool to see your analytics better or your profit and loss statements, if you want that and you need that and you use it on Etsy, there are tools like that on Amazon as well. So essentially, the tools that I'm going to teach and recommend is obviously HelloCustom for the customization. We are the only tool that does that. So therefore, like we by default is the go-to tool. In terms of analytics and like your market research, your product research, your keyword research, all of like the the research tool, my go-to one is called Zoof,
Hmm.
Zoof. That was built by like this amazing Amazon seller. He built up the tool based on his pain points and kind of gaps in the market. And then another guy named Matt Clark, who was like the Amazon guy, bought that company. So they turned it into like a really robust tool. So that's probably the only one I would highly recommend you guys use to at least get started for the product research. On that note too is if you already are selling on Etsy, I think the easiest way to get started would be to take your Etsy products, your top selling Etsy products, because those are selling
Yeah.
well on a third party marketplace. Again, Amazon is a third party marketplace. These ranked and did well for a reason. Therefore, they should rank and do well on Amazon as well. So just copying those products over to Amazon would be the easiest first step. Also, in some cases you would want to do the product research and market research on Etsy instead of Amazon. Like Christmas ornaments, you go over to Amazon, you just can't do product research and market research on Amazon because there just isn't a lot to see. You would have to do that research on Etsy, find what's doing well, and then apply those products to Amazon. So there are like those gap opportunities. In those cases, you would have to do the research on Etsy to then bring over to Amazon.
Yeah, love that. And something you mentioned about like the products. So you mentioned the products like candles and mugs. And one thing I realized this week through going through Amazon and like bringing over my Etsy listings, I started with the my like t-shirt and sweatshirt listings. And for a lot of people who are starting on Amazon, you're gonna realize what a pain variations are on Amazon. And something when you were talking about, yeah, like uh, everything else you just mentioned, the mugs, the candles. I'm like, oh, those don't have variations. Oh, I would love that because the variations are the least UI friendly I think about Amazon so far, and trying to upload your photo to every single variation. So for people, how the Amazon structure kind of works is you have parent listing. I'm probably going to get some of the keywords wrong, so let me know if I said this wrong. And then you have all your variations under. So all of your colors are a variation, and under each color, every size is a variation. And I find the sizes so difficult because you have to upload your photos to every single one. And I find that just the messiest versus when there's like a thing that doesn't have variations, like a one size tote bag, setting up is so much easier.
Yeah, I completely agree. So essentially, the workflow is going to be a little bit different there. I think it's going to be a pain point to start, but once it becomes common practice, so it's become common practice where what people are used to experiencing currently is you create your product on Printify. Let's say you do a T-shirt with 10 colors and 6 sizes. There's 60 variations on that one Printify product. You publish that over to Etsy. That one Printify product creates one product on Etsy with again the 60 variations. So it's a one-to-one where then you then typically leave the Printify product unoptimized because no one sees that but you, and you go and you optimize the Etsy listing with the optimized title, your tags, your listing images, your pricings, and things like that on Etsy. The workflow is going to be a little bit different with Amazon, and how what Amazon does is when you have that product on Printify, again 60 variations, one product on Printify, when you publish it over to Amazon, Amazon creates an Amazon listing for each variation. So it's going to create 60 different line items in your inventory tab, where essentially the relationship is called a parent to child relationship, where each variation is a child listing. So there would be 60 child listings within one container, which they call like the parent listing. The parent listing isn't something that you can sell or buy. It's just like the placeholder that holds all 60 child variations within it. The downside there is when you now have to go optimize that listing, you'd have to go optimize 60 titles and 60 descriptions and 60 images, which would be close to impossible to have to do that 60 times just to launch one product. So essentially what I would recommend doing is optimize the Printify listing first before you publish it over. So include your optimized title, your optimized bullet points, your optimized pricing, your optimized description. So that way when it goes over and creates the product, it's just going to create all of the optimizations. And if you have to do any bulk edits, don't do it on Amazon. Go over to Printify, make the edits, and because it's linked, and then it'll go over and it'll push the edits over to Amazon. The one sticking point that is a problem today, but won't be a problem here pretty soon, is you can edit everything on Printify on the Amazon integration except for the mockup images. So you're unable to upload your own mockup images and then have those go to the listings. So you would still have to go in and change the images 60 different times, but Printify is aware of that problem. They understand that is a sticking point that a lot of people will be doing the edits in their platform. So they are going to make that as a feature edit here pretty soon. So that way you can just do all edits on Printify, then publish it over, and then it will just be a 1-to-1 ratio.
Oh, that's going to be a game changer. Literally, I was spent forever because like Googling how to upload these photos in bulk. I was like, this can't be the only way. This is so slow. And yeah, because this integration's recently new, like there's not much information out there yet, which is why I was so excited to do this interview as well, just because it's new. There's not much information, and there's going to be so many people searching for this type of information too. So when that comes, that's going to be a game changer, because that was the biggest thing for me. And also just the shift of kind of process. Like for me, I always got used to like just kind of lazily doing my Printify and then editing most of the things in Etsy. So now I've completely had to kind of reshift. And sometimes I like catch myself scrolling to the bottom and about to hit publish. I'm like, wait, before I do this, let's go like change things up. So that's awesome news to hear that that's in the.
So essentially, yeah, the good news is, or the good and the bad, right? So it's a double-edged sword is because this opportunity is so brand new, there just isn't a lot of how-to tutorials on how to do Amazon print on demand. That if you go to YouTube right now and you type in Amazon POD, you're going to get merch videos. You're not going to get like how to integrate Printify to Amazon, how to do everything we're talking about in this interview. But those will come in time. So what you can do now, if you're trying to like do this opportunity and you're looking to get started, I would recommend in terms again like just basic strategies. You can continue to watch Etsy tutorials on how to do SEO and keyword research and product research, because those strategies parallel over to Amazon. You can watch it applied to Etsy, but then just apply it over to Amazon. Also, we are just selling products on Amazon. So you can watch, Amazon SEO videos, but relative to like FBA, but you're just going to apply it to your FBM products, how to do, keyword research, how to use Zoof, how to, do your mock-up images or your keywords or anything like that. You can watch that on YouTube because there are thousands of videos for that for FBA. Again, but you would just apply those strategies to your FBM, your POD products. So you got to kind of just like pull the information inwards. But again, I think in time it will come. But again, this is day one, ground zero of a new opportunity that like making that an excuse not to take action, let everyone jump in on the opportunity ahead of you. It's going to be harder to find success when everyone has already, kind of jumped in on the opportunity. So just take this as a time to just like make it happen and continue to move forward with it.
Yeah, that's exactly like my thing. I'm like, I don't know if it's perfect yet, but I'm just gonna list things, and as it goes with Etsy too, the more you list, the faster you get, the easier it becomes. And yeah, being able to like I was doing what you recommended and watching YouTube videos and FBA, and that's when I realized like I kind of already do that with my Etsy titles and tags. So I was like, I can just bring those over, which helps cut out a whole new learning curve. If you already know the Etsy side, you just have to really learn the UI part of Amazon, and then you're able to kind of move things over, which helps a lot if you have some background already. And then I had one other question about kind of just a strategy when it comes to Etsy versus Amazon. And that is one thing that's recommended a lot of the time on Etsy is quantity, getting up lots and lots of listings. Do you know on Amazon, is there a recommended number of listings? Is there a maximum number of listings? Can you mix niches? Like, what does your storefront kind of need to look like in comparison to how maybe someone's Etsy store looks?
Yeah, so essentially every strategy that you have for Etsy will parallel over to Amazon. So in terms of like the different niches and different product types and the number of listings you have, that will parallel over to Amazon. One difference between Amazon and Etsy is if someone clicks onto your store or your seller's name, it takes you to a storefront. On Amazon, we're not going to have a storefront. So essentially, there's just going to be your product in rank somewhere, and there's no way for them to click onto that, and then they can see all of your other products in a storefront. The only way that you can have a storefront is if you go through brand registry, which means you have to pay like $300 to trademark your brand, then you have to get brand registered. You have to have your actual brand on the product or the packaging. But because our products are unbranded, we actually can't technically get brand registered. So then therefore we just have like a bunch of independently ranked products. So you can have any products, any niches for any reason. And therefore it almost kind of goes against needing to be niched down or product down, because we're kind of separate in search, if that makes sense, on Amazon compared over to Etsy. One other, before I forget, one other big difference between Etsy also with Amazon is how like returns work. So in terms of like the number of listings and the number of things you have is like how do returns work if I'm going after like just like a numbers game? Like are they going to be like proportional in terms of returns? So on Etsy, you're able to kind of set your return policy. Maybe you have like no returns allowed, or maybe you have a love it guarantee and you accept all returns, or you don't accept returns for personalized products, but you do for non-personalized products. So you can kind of set those terms on Etsy. On Amazon, they want you to kind of adhere to Amazon's terms of service and Amazon's return policies, which is like a 30-day return policy. So for any reason, if someone bought a product within 30 days, they can get a refund for any reason. So and then it comes down to, who is paying the return label to ship that product back over to me? Are you paying the return label or am I paying the return label?
Yeah.
That can go either way, but just from like the stance of good customer service and trying to turn a bad situation into a good one to hopefully get a 5-star review for good customer service, I'd always recommend just like taking care of that return label, because like that $5 cost you now might turn into a 5-star review versus a 1-star review, or even preventing a 1-star review, because it takes like 25-star reviews to offset one-star review. So that's $5 well spent. But another reason why I highly recommend customizable products is custom products are non-returnable. So essentially, if you have a custom product, there isn't an easy button where you can click on return and then it gives you the shipping label and they take the money from the seller. They're unable to return it. So therefore, they have to reach out to you and ask and say why they want to return it. And then it's up to me as the seller to say, hey, I'm going to give you a refund, or I'm going to send you a replacement, or no, there's no refund in this case. So you can have a 30-day return policy for non-personalized products, and then it's up to you, a no returnable policy for custom products.
Amazing. Yeah, I was looking at it. I figured I'd have to offer returns, and like I do for Shopify, to avoid bad reviews. And I'm sure even starting on Amazon, like I did on Etsy, I would never say no. But that's huge that for customized that we don't have to. So I think moving forward, I'm going to be changing up which products I'm adding mostly to my store here. And I'm really excited for the HelloCustom integration to launch. Then, do you have like a timeline when people can expect that?
Yeah, so I'm super excited to kind of share a little bit about like what the Amazon integration looks like with HelloCustom. So
Yeah.
again, Printify just launched their integration last week. We built our Amazon integration with Printify in tandem. So we are going to be coming to market together. We got some like podcasts coming up soon. But essentially, the reason why I asked Printify for the integration 3 years ago and they put it on hold was because they thought it was going to be an uphill battle for the merchants to compete on Amazon against FBA and merch. Like again, we're 2 days production time and 4 days shipping and gets to you next week. Like it's just an uphill battle.
Yeah.
And Etsy was just booming, right? Like we're just going to focus on Etsy. Amazon can wait. But in the birth of HelloCustom and like the light of personalization, it kind of shed the light on like, hey, you can compete against those on Amazon through personalization. So that's kind of why we were both launching our integrations together. So with our Amazon integration, we are 1 week out. So we're going to be launching our Amazon integration either the 1st or 2nd of September. So just literally like a week from the time recording this interview. And essentially the way that works is it's going to be way more robust than even our Etsy integration. Like on Etsy, if you sell personalized products, they just give you that text box where independent of what product you sell or what you're personalizing, they just give the customer a text box where they have to type in what they want and what they want to be personalized and give you the information all in text. So as a result, we have to use AI to read through that and then dynamically personalize the graphic. We're limited to like what the AI is trained on. So you can only really do like names, dates, addresses, and phone numbers for the Etsy integration. For the Amazon integration, you can leverage Amazon's Amazon custom program, where you can have up to like 15 different customization fields per product, and you can make them anything you want, and you can title them anything you want. So it can be like, name 1, name 2, name 3, anniversary date, dog's name, image upload here. You can also change the font, so like select font, select color. It's super dynamic, and we make it so you can tie those to your template inside of HelloCustom. So when they change the font, it's going to change the font. When they select a different color, it's going to change a different color. When they upload an image, it's going to add the image and mask fit it to the image that you tagged. So there's going to be no limitations for personalization, up to 15 things, which I've never seen anything more than 15 for products on Amazon. So the sky's the limit for our Amazon integration.
That's amazing because, yeah, I have some where it's like families' names or teams' names, and those can be very difficult when you're instructing someone how to lay those out. To be able to have all those different lines is going to be awesome. And to have that level of personalization on HelloCustom, that's amazing.
Yeah,
And
so
then I
super
know,
excited for that. I was going to say one more thing too is I'm sure Christine's going to have a link in the description below, but we currently have a lifetime plan to HelloCustom, and the Amazon integration is going to be a part of our lifetime plan. So essentially, HelloCustom, it's normally $29.99 per month or $360 per year. So for a limited time only, you can get lifetime access to HelloCustom for only one payment of $67. So you can purchase it lifetime for $67, and then you can use that for our Amazon integration for when it comes out.
yes, so make sure to link that below, you guys. That is a massive deal. Yeah, when I first signed up, yeah, I was paying the $29.99, and now the minute I saw that $67 one, I even like sent it out. I was like, guys, if you use this, this is the one to jump on. Thank you so much for sharing everything you know about Amazon. Where can people find you if they want to learn more?
Yeah, so essentially the place if you want to learn more about what we're doing, about HelloCustom, about Amazon Print on Demand, I think the go-to place is our YouTube channel. It's just YouTube at HelloCustom. Currently, everything we're talking about right now is Etsy Print on Demand. That's our background, that's our experience. We are going to start adding a lot more content for Amazon Print on Demand because I think there's kind of again that gap in the content. So if you're looking to subscribe to a place that is going to have that content when it does come out, I think that's going to be a good resource.
Awesome. Yep. You guys make sure to go check him out, subscribe. And yeah, thank you so much for joining today. I'm sure people are going to find this so helpful because I know I did. So yeah, thank you. Thanks again.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me.